Hey, how's it going? Okay, yesterday we had somebody trying to infiltrate the jury pool. It was a guy from the Coffee Party Progressives, and he lied about a lot of stuff, basically whether he was biased or not on the case, and he was tossed. And, in this little clip here, we're going to see that there may be some perjury charges against him. I would like to see that. Also, I wanted to talk about the fact that the demographics of the people being chosen to be potential jurors is a little strange. So let's start with the clip and then we'll go from there.
We told you about a potential juror question today who claimed to be impartial, but attorneys did some digging and found he made some inflammatory comments on Facebook, calling Sanford's police department corrupt. When the judge asked if he had made those posts, he admitted that he did. Now, I'm joined now by our WESH 2 legal analyst, Alicia.
So there it is. He's admitted that those were his comments. And if you go back and listen to the stuff that he had been talking about, it was pretty clear that he had said that he was unbiased. He hadn't made up his mind. So now we know that he was lying, and hopefully they're going to charge him with it.
Thompson and Richard Hornsby. Richard, what do you do with this guy? Could he face charges?
You put him in jail. I mean, that's the bottom line. This is the most serious part of the case. What he did is way worse than what Shelley Zimmerman did, because this goes to the heart of this trial, what everybody's been gearing up to, which is who's going to sit on this jury. It's a travesty if Angela Corey doesn't prosecute him for perjury, or at least look into it.
If she doesn't, then it's going to be pretty obvious that she is biased in this case, because the one thing that's going to make the further jurors, or the ones that the potential jurors take notice, is if she holds this guy responsible. If she does nothing, then there's going to be no reason why others won't do the same. So what we want is of those people that are contemplating sneaking into the jury with their biases, we want them to realize that they could spend 5 years in prison. We really want them to be concerned. So that's what this is all about.
And I think we need a little Judge Belvin Perry here. I think that Judge Nelson needs to step in and hold him in contempt, because that's really what he did. It was contemptuous. It goes to the very heart of the justice system.
Yeah, Alicia, it hit you pretty hard too, didn't it?
Yes, perjury is a false statement under oath in an official proceeding, so I would definitely say that he could be facing charges.
We've been watching and kind of categorizing demographics in this case so far, and you're both thinking that the demographics of the potential jurors may favor one side over another.
Yes.
And this is one of the problems that I've noticed throughout the hearings, and that is that when you're seating a jury, typically the best thing you can do, absolutely the best thing you can do, is to match the demographics of the population of the community. So if you have 20% blacks, 15% Hispanics, 30% whites, etc., then you would try to pick jurors that would match that. So, if you have 20% blacks, you would want, as close as you could get to 20% blacks on the jury. Since there's only going to be 6, that would be like one black person, maybe one Hispanic. So, conservatives are much more likely in that community. You're more likely to be a conservative if you live there. So these are the demographics that we expect, and this is what the jury should look like. But that's not the way that it's looking by who is being questioned.
At the end of the day, I don't think it's any secret what each side is hoping for. You have the state who wants, they want female mothers, they want younger people, they want minorities. The defense wants just the opposite. If the defense could get Fox News on their jury, they'd be the happiest people in the world. And we're getting a lot of MSNBC, a lot of people I think favor the state, a lot of females, a lot of mothers, a lot more minorities than you would expect, given the actual demographics of Seminole County, which are...
And it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not fair. Remember, and this is very important to these people that support Trayvon, this trial is about George, not Trayvon. George is the one that is facing justice. He's facing the trial. Okay, I know a lot of people disagree. They say, well, Trayvon suffered, he's the victim, regardless of what George gets. They don't care. But that's not the way the system works, and when it's them standing before the judge, they want all the benefits and all the protections of the law, but they don't want to give it to George. So once you've decided in your mind that that you don't want to afford a certain person those protections under the law, your protections are wiped away. So any protections that you wipe away from another person is wiped away from you. You may not think that, but at some point it will circle around.
Very conservative, very white, very affluent.
So which side is more?
So the community in general is very white, very affluent, and very conservative. So if that's the case, then we should be hearing from potential jurors that are, I mean, like if you have 10 potential jurors that are heard, 2 should be black, 7 should be conservative, etc., based on the demographics. That's not happening. So we've already got a problem. We'll find out in the end overall based on the jury. So if the jury turns out to be, basically how spread out as the community is, then I'm fine with that. But just based on the people that have come forward so far, now, that's not to say that it's going to work out that way, because sometimes, you just, you put in a bunch of dice into a box, shake them up, and throw them out. You might get, 8 out of 10 falling on 6. It's not likely, but it could happen. So maybe these first few just so happen that they mix the box up, and we got a bunch of blacks and young people and females and stuff like that. And later on, it will switch around, and we'll get a bunch of older white males and stuff like that would favor George. So we need to really mix it up that it actually fits. At the end, it should match the community.
More concerned as we move ahead if this trend continues?
Oh, if this trend continues, I definitely say the defense has a little bit to worry about.
So with her saying that, and obviously she's not one of George's friends, she would say she's agreeing with him, saying that the defense is the one that has the most concern based on the fact that they're bringing up these jurors that absolutely do not match the demographics of the community. I would be concerned, especially knowing that demographic that the state is going for are people, at least so far on YouTube, that will not give him a fair shake. They won't even listen to the entire case. And when you tell them, look, this happened and this happened and that happened, they don't care. The only thing that they're focusing on is the fact that George got out of his car. And most of them are malinformed on that. They believe that he got out of the car after he was told, we don't need you to do that, which is wrong. But, they really don't care. They've made up their minds, and a lot of them are trying to sneak their way into the jury pool, lying all the way to get there. And I hope that every single one of them gets caught, and I hope every single one of them gets thrown in jail for a long time. And that's on both sides. If somebody tries to get in there and is lying about their support of George, they need to go to jail too. Everybody that's lying on this panel, or everybody that's lying to get on this jury, needs to go to jail. And I can tell you right now, if they called me up, I would tell them the truth. I would tell them that I disregarded all the things that I heard on TV and only devoted my attentions to the evidence dump and everything that I got from the state, everything I got from the defense. Absolute evidence, and I ignored everything else. Of course, they would throw me out anyway because I know way too much of the case. But I certainly wouldn't lie about it. So for those people that are lying, those liberals that want to convict George regardless of the facts of the case, I hope you spend a long time in jail. Good talking to you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.